All right, before we get running with this, if you find yourself every time it's time for you to generate your next new program, you find yourself a deer in headlights, writer's block, there's just doubt behind every action because you don't know if what you're doing is the right thing to do. Check out our course, Bodybuilding Program Design. Learn how to write bodybuilding programs the right way. Look, like with bodybuilding, there's just so many aspects of it that if you're just not into it, it's just boring. Like watching someone run their errands, right? I remember watching Jay Cutler shop at Costco, like I am, picking out his orange roughy, and there I was with like my, I don't know, whatever pre-training meal I was having, just getting all sorts of psyched up for the session that was to come. I shop on the weekends. Weekends are usually jam-packed, so I'm like, I'm not busting out that camera and just ruining it for everyone. But I'll show you guys my cart as it grows and it expands. You'll see we all kind of like do this thing pretty much the same. Maybe there's some surprises there. I don't think I go through as much meat as some bodybuilders. I prefer Greek yogurt. It's just so much more, no eggs. No eggs. It was one of those weeks. Yeah, Greek yogurt. I'll go through all that Greek yogurt. A little help from Cynthia, but that's mostly me. About this bottle of honey lasts me about 2 weeks. But yeah, like this is more or less what it looks like. I don't think we show the veggies because someone's going to say something about the veggies, but usually we get frozen vegetables. All right, but this is why we eat the way we eat, so that this stuff is just, the training is more predictable. All right, so new split. So I feel like brand new, like socks, brand new underwear, good, brand new training split, good. But it's not brand new. Because here's the deal. If it's time to rotate things and you are just starting all over, it's completely different from your last training split. You're probably just throwing random shit at the board and you're seeing like what sticks. So for me, generally speaking, what I'll do, about 80% of it stays, 20% of it, it's like, okay, this thing here, it's just not doing what I wanted it to do. Let's look at it and adjust things a little bit. So, but within like what has changed, like this block, that 20%, some movements, but also as we go through a lot of our compounds, especially, we're going to be performing some top set work, and we're doing top set work so that we can lift up our strength ceiling a little bit. I'm doing it with fives primarily, and then there's this like a 10-ish% like drop from there. So in the long term, this will make me stronger. That's the plan, anyways. And as a bodybuilder, especially a natural bodybuilder, strength is okay. Maybe okay. So you're not a powerlifter. I understand that, but okay. What if we take Mr. 200-pound bench press, and we turn that over the next few months into a 250 bench press? What happens to my homeboys like 3x10, right? It's going to get better. It's going to be more impactful. So yeah, that's what we're doing here. Eventually a lot of those fibers will turn into like singles at RPE 8, which is like, dude, like that is the hack when it comes to getting stronger. With movements that, you know, make sense to do it, bro, stuff will get you so strong. Just got to learn how to dose it right, both in regards to how much and how many movements you do it on, and then like how long you run it. But I think we will end up there. So my training group, you hear me? You guys know what I'm talking about. We've done those pap sets before. Dumbbell row. It's dumb. I love it. You don't have to think about anything, right? Just have your torso angled the way you want, right? More lat if you're like this, and then more upper back if you're like, if that's what you want, then maybe a little bit more upright. Make sure your legs don't contaminate the movement, and then just pull. That's it. You don't have to swing to your hip and run the dumbbell across the ground like that. Gravity, like literally, it points down, right? So there is no gravity tunnel left to right. So I love it. Again, a lot of people butcher it when it can be a very simple movement. I love the movement because I don't got to think. I just got to set myself up, try really hard. Excellent. Exact opposite from this movement so here's the deal. The bigger and stronger you are, talking about being bigger and stronger. Well, that's been a theme so far. But the more strict your movements have to be, because it's very easy to contaminate the movement with other joint actions you didn't intend on on using. Like, it can be subtle, it can be small, it can be in a seated cable row and those knees are kind of extending just a little bit. It could be a dumbbell lateral raise or lateral raise like this, and you're kind of just, kicking your rib cage up. People don't realize that, man. The bigger and stronger you are, the more careful you're going to have to be with how you move, because it's very easy to unintentionally assist the movement with other joints. Oh, here comes Brian Miner trying to distract me from my workout, bro. But I told him, dude, I am focused. I have myo reps. So that's another thing. Myo reps stay. And I've mentioned this before, once you start performing the myo reps, it's just really hard on isolation movements to do all those buy-in reps again, just so that you can get to the grindy part of the set. It's just such it's a waste of time, right? So I'd much rather just do it this way, where take my shortened rest period, get right back into it, and we're right into the meat and potatoes part of the set. This movement here, man, super excited to have it back. This Smith machine is a lot more tamed compared to the one I was using at a gym that honestly is a lot more tamed. But that Smith machine they had was just gnarly. The knurling, first of all, was intense. So very quickly, I redeveloped my fat pad here, very quickly, after one session. Which I don't know, looks kind of cool. I don't know. I that's just me. But it came back super quick. The Smith machine was also heavy. It was I think it was, I don't know if it was 65 or 85 pounds, but usually, as far as I know, I've never looked into this because I just don't care. I just load up, whether it's a machine or a Smith machine, the kind you can plate load. I just think of them in my head as the same as a loaded barbell. Just standardizes things, makes them easier. They're all arbitrary systems anyways. But I guess that Smith machine might have been 75, 85. Anyhow, or 65, I don't know. But this one's definitely more up to standard. I think it's about 25 pounds, something like that. I don't know. I don't care. I call this 185 in my head and in my logbook. But yeah, this was pleasant, just because, especially first week back, knurling wasn't killing me. But overall, I just love the movement, especially with some wedges. This is the first time I've used 30-degree wedges. They went all out at this gym. I own the 20s, and I wanted to get the 20-degree wedges rather than the 10s or the 30s, because they're kind of right in the middle. But this is straight 30. So we'll see how this goes. But so far so good. Really love I think out of all quad movements, again, the one issue with this one is the fact that your hip can kind of be free floating. So again, it's very easy to just leak the hips back and potentially take away from the quads. But if you're mindful of it, it's not too much of an issue. You just got to be patient with your increments as well. But man, after I perform this specific movement, I've never felt this on any other movement before. It's my vastus medialis is literally hot. It's just hot to the touch. It's something I've never felt before. And I rack up enough good weeks on this, bro. Do I get some very, maybe it's just me. Because you know how it goes, usually, whatever you've gone through the last few weeks, you tend to see in your physique. If training is bad, you look at the mirror and you're like, man, I am soft and soggy. Training's good. You look in the mirror and it's the exact opposite usually. But I swear to you, every time I've had a run at these, there's been improvements in my quads. So as much as I love the side backs, especially because it's the hack squat that I go the furthest back with, yeah, I can't wait to see what this one does, especially with the 30-degree wedges. If it doesn't work out and it's just too much for the knees, too much too soon, I'll definitely just bring my own. Yeah, at the end, I guess this was my heaviest set. So this one I'm running backwards, actually. No top sets for this. If anything, it's the other way around. It's actually really high rep work, middle of the road rep range, and then heavy. which I love, And let me get into that. But before I get into that, this is something I love to do in a lot of my sets. Like when I get to the let's go set, quite often, like that's where I'll disrobe, and something about like the air hitting my skin is just kind of triggering. It's like my body's like, it's like taking your warm-up suit off as a track athlete, as a basketball player. It's like, oh, you feel that breeze, it's time to go. But yeah, on a lot of movements, man, I do not mind. They will change over time as we get deeper into the block, but I do not mind starting with high rep work and then kind of, tapering the rep ranges downwards. A lot of people will argue that the heaviest work should be first. Should be first. But to be honest, it doesn't matter. Like again, you can grow with any rep range in bodybuilding. But not only that, I think what really helps me, well, two things. I think the first one is you turn something that would be a warm up set, right? Let's just say you can, you're like, all right, you're just gonna touch it so you can move on to the next load, and you instead of doing 5 reps with that, you do 15. So it saves time on that front. But then I think the other thing it does for me is like sometimes like higher rep work is a little bit less intimidating, and what it does for me is like, okay, it's just an easier it's like not the deep side of the pool. But after I'm done with those, I'm like, bro, high reps suck. I can't wait to do the heavy work. So I almost look forward to it. It kind of like it helps me with that mental game in my head. But that's how we're doing it for now. Eventually that we'll have top sets, and then we'll build up to some heavy singles even. This lateral raise machine, man, like I'm doing it instead of dumbbells because dumbbell areas in any gym are just like usually like just such a shit show. So myo rep sets here. And this one specifically, again, like speaking of like the rib cage and like not like doing the flipper, you got to be mindful of it, especially on like whether it's a lateral raise like this or with dumbbells. So that's something I've really focused on this off season because I've been guilty of this. Is like just like doing this and calling it a fucking PR, right? What else? Leg extensions on the Strive. I think this one I'm excited about. I'm excited and also lean back as far as I could just to stretch out the muscle a little bit more. But this machine's hardly ever used at the gym, so that's nice. And of course, I can kind of mess around with the strength curve for this block. I have it loaded in the lengthened position, which is starting to kind of become a meme, but it shouldn't be that way. But anyhow, my rep work here as well, because the setup is kind of hard to get into. Like I will try to stay in my seat, but then you know how it goes. It's like you can't clear the stuff that you have there. So I think eventually at some point I have to just get off because I'm like, bro, my legs feel like they're going to like freaking explode. We start prep in a month, maybe 2 months. We'll see. I will probably put on my my little super underwear on and my sports specific underwear. And see what it looks like, man, and see what it looks like. And, I think I can generally be ready in like, I don't know, 14-ish weeks. But at the same time, I don't want to mention this no more because I feel like sometimes it is kind of just almost an excuse. But like, bro, prepping with a child, it just kind of freaks me out to some extent. Freaks me out in that it's just... I look forward to it 100%, but it's more so just something I've never done before, right? So maybe spreading out that timeline just because the environment is different. I don't know. We'll decide. But it does start with like observing what the physique looks like right now. Picking some shows. That's another thing. I need to pick some shows. That just makes it more real, and go from there. So I am kind of. There's some that I'm thinking about, but but nothing is solid. Yeah, outside of that, this machine here, I guess last bit, just bro, whenever I get to certain uh, loads, yeah, certain like performance metrics on this thing, like literally, it's like arms go from like most days being like closer to 16 and like 3/4, we'll say, to like straight up 17s. It's a straight up 17s, and it's this machine. This machine just does me really good. However, one thing I've learned about especially tricep movements, it's like, bro, like no matter how good they are to you, it's like don't run them, don't overstay, uh, because yeah, eventually you'll feel it. So, uh, we'll see if I learn my lesson, man. Oh, we'll see if but I think I can handle this one for one more block. So that one's hard, right? Because again, like I said, there's certain things in a training block with it. It's like you need a change because it's like it didn't work out the way I predicted. Nothing personal, but you gotta go, buddy. And then there's other stuff that you're like, man, this works so well, but I need to rotate it, even if it's just for orthopedic issues or because mentally you're just getting tired of doing it. That will happen. It's like this thing is super productive. Watering holes always like straight up good to me, but you are human after all. But this one, I decided to run for one more block just because it's been so good to me, man. Like literally, I saw my arms were like at 17.1 the other day, and that's very just not normal. Like for me, that's a big freaking deal for me, dude. So we'll see. But yeah, brand new training split. This is some snippets of what it's looking like. If you want to know more, check it out. Run it with me. I'll see you guys next week.